What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Paint Jobs. And all of the paint jobs, as always, that we are looking at today are submitted by you guys. And if you would like to submit your paint jobs in the future to one of these videos, the way to do so is send them to me on Twitter. My Twitter link is down in the description, or you can just send a high-resolution screenshot to @Inkslasher, and you may just find yourself getting featured on the show. Now, today we've got 5 paint jobs, and what's really amazing to see is the evolution of them. As we get further and further into the game, since they've been released in World War II, people are simply getting better and better and better at actually making these paint jobs, and I can't wait to see where you guys take it in the future. But without further ado, let's hop into it and check out the top 5 paint jobs this week. Coming in at number 5, we've got one submitted by Ferris Pollard, or @Pickleboy, and this is a Galaxy paint job, and the reason why I picked this one is I think it's a perfect example of how paint jobs can be good without being overly difficult. It's simple. It's outer space with a bunch of circles in it, but he made it look good with various things. First of all, putting the sun at the butt of the weapon and then the rest of the planets going towards the barrel, I think is very intuitive and just kind of makes a lot of sense. But the things that really bring this paint job to the next level are a couple of things. First of all, heat rays coming off the sun look really nice. The fact that the blue of the night sky is lighter towards the sun, I think really brings it together. And then the fact that the colors are lighter around the edge of the weapon just kind of makes the thing come all together. Now, this is a paint job that looks very much like a paint job. You can tell that someone made it in the paint job, which really isn't necessarily a bad thing. But coming in at number 4, I actually have another Galaxy paint job. This one's submitted by MShadows115, and once again, with the Galaxy camo, he decided to put the sun at the butt of the weapon and then the Galaxy throughout the rest of it. But the thing and difference between the two is I find that this one looks a lot more like a camo than the other one does like a paint job, which kind of pick your poison. Which do you prefer? It's kind of up to you, and let me know what you think in the comments. But this one, like I said, it almost looks like a camo, and I would have to say that it also looks a lot better in-game than it does in the menu. As you can see here, just in the firing range inspecting the weapon, you can see how good this looks really in that sunlight. It really pops, and like I said, almost looks like a camo, and that's why I put it at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we've got one by Fiery Fairy, and this is a Dexter paint job, one of the TV shows that's actually probably one of my favorites of all time. But as you can see up towards the top of the weapon there, you have the Dexter logo, which almost looks identical to the actual logo, with blood spatter spread throughout the gun. Even on the other side here, you can see that blood spatter. But we actually missed the part that was absolutely insane. If we flip the weapon back over to the other side, and I think a lot of people who would just briefly look at this paint job would miss this, in the handle of the weapon, you can actually see Dexter's face in the blood spatter. Michael C. Hall, who is the actor, you can actually tell with the blood spatter that this is him, and I thought that was expertly done. I don't even know how you go about doing that, but it was extremely impressive, and I had to do the whole double take to actually see him there, which I think adds almost like an Easter egg to the paint job itself. So just incredibly well done. Definitely deserving of a spot on this list. It was hard to only put this one at number 3, but I think you may see why I did so when you see the rest of the paint jobs. Speaking of which, coming in at number 2, we've got one by N97, and you may be sitting back looking at this one going, wait a minute, there isn't even a paint job on this weapon, and in saying that, you would be wrong. If you look at the butt of the weapon, believe it or not, that knife is not supposed to be there. There is no variant for the PPSH that has a knife strapped on to the butt of the weapon. That tape going around the weapon and that knife itself is actually a paint job. And the reason why this one impresses me so much, it doesn't completely cover the weapon, it doesn't change the way the weapon looks, it adds something to it that doesn't even look like a paint job. It looks like it is meant to be there, and that really does blow my mind. I don't even know how you go about making something that realistic, but clearly N97 has figured it out, and that knife strapped onto the end of the weapon is a very well done paint job, and I was just incredibly impressed. Once again, having to do the double take to be like, wait a minute, that's the paint job. That's absolutely insane. But let me know what you think about it down in the comments. And coming in at number 1, I was just extremely impressed by this one. This was by Babyfoot Emblems, and as you can see, this is a snake paint job. And if you look towards the barrel of the weapon, you can see the snake wrapping around the weapon with the snake's head kind of right at the trigger. At the butt of the weapon, you have snake written in almost scaly lettering. And what really impressed me is how he did the fade of color on the snake with the scales on it, and how realistic the snake's face looked. On top of that, the scaly lettering of snake itself is fantastic. But it gets even better when you actually flip over the weapon. And at the butt of the weapon here, we have that like coiled up snake, and you can see a larger, higher resolution version of that snake face once again. And I just thought it was incredible how well this is done and how much it looks like an actual picture, not just a paint job. On top of it, bringing it together with the snake wrapping around the barrel of the weapon is incredibly well done. The only thing that kind of sucks is if you look towards the magazine of the weapon, you're not able to put a paint job there, so the wrapping of the snake around there looks a little bit sketchy, but that's not Babyfoot's fault at all. That's just the fault that you can't put a paint job there. But all in all, how well the snake is done, how well the various colors bring the entire paint job together, and how high resolution that snake's face is so impressive, and that's why I put this one at number 1. But if you disagree with me, think another one deserved the number 1 spot, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Also, if you have any paint jobs to submit in the future, all you have to do is send them to me on Twitter at Inkslasher, or my Twitter link is down in the description. And also, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, as it is always appreciated. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, guys, peace out.